afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you. Honorable dignitaries, respected panelists and guests, organizers, colleagues, members of the media, students, and most importantly, my esteemed audience, C.V. Raman Global University, Odisha, India rejoices this golden opportunity and extends a hearty welcome to you all to the UTKAL Startup Confluence 2024. It's indeed a pleasure to be a part of such a momentous event, and it gladdens our heart to realize the significance of the knowledge we can gather from the experience of such august company today. C.V. Raman Global University is a holistic institution committing to shaping the future leaders of the 21st century and beyond. Established in 2020, CGU builds upon the rich legacy of C.V. Raman College of Engineering, which has been a pioneering force in education, skilling, and entrepreneurship since its inception in 1997, with a profound vision to cultivate higher education-enabled innovative leaders. C.V. Raman Global University serves as the nurturing ground for innovative ventures, housing two distinct incubators, Atal Incubation Center CVRCE Foundation and CVRC Technology Incubator Foundation. These incubators, operating under the umbrella of CGU, are dedicated to fostering and promoting ideas, businesses, and entrepreneurship within the academic community. Allow me to introduce you to the AIC CVRCEF located within the CGU premises. This vibrant startup incubator is endorsed by Niti Aayog Atal Innovation Mission Initiative with a core mission to cultivate a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship among the dynamic youth and budding entrepreneurs affiliated with CGU. AIC CVRCEF has made significant strides in achieving its primary objective through a multifaceted approach. By offering pre-incubation, incubation, and acceleration programs, the center provides a nurturing environment that supports the growth of innovative ideas and emerging businesses. Notably, AIC CVRCEF has played a pivotal role in supporting over 50 startups and numerous entrepreneurs, helping them secure prominent positions in the market for their enterprises. The success stories within AIC CVRCEF's portfolio are impressive, with startups like BornV, Mo Ambulance, and Organoponics gaining national and international recognition for their products. This attests to the incubator's commitment to not only fostering innovation but also propelling startups to achieve noteworthy milestones and global acclaim. CGU is also home to CVRCE Technology Incubator Foundation, the technology business incubator intricately affiliated with the university, specializing in agri-tech and food tech sectors. Supported by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, through the Nidhi TBI scheme, this incubator plays a pivotal role in championing startups within these industries. CVRCE-TIF's impact extends beyond mere support, as it has actively contributed to the success of numerous entrepreneurs and startups dedicated to agri-tech and food tech. The incubator boasts high-end tech testing labs and a cutting-edge food processing unit, providing invaluable resources to those navigating the complexities of these sectors. In addition to its role as a catalyst for startups, CVRC-TIF is on the verge of registering itself as an FSSAI training institution, which upcoming milestone highlights the incubator's commitment to ensuring quality standards and compliance within the food and agriculture technology domains, further emphasizing on FSSAI training positions, with CVRC-TIF as a key player in enhancing the expertise and knowledge base of individual and entities operating in these sectors. Together, AIC, CVRCEF, and CVRCE-TIF form a dynamic ecosystem that not only encourages learning and innovation, but also actively supports and propels the entrepreneurial spirit. This synergistic approach positions CGU as a hub for fostering creativity, knowledge dissemination, and the cultivation of business acumen. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are very, very humbled and honored to have here with us our Honorable Chief Guest, PadmaShri TV Mohandas Pai, a luminary in business and philanthropy, currently serving as the chairperson of Aarin Capital and 314 Capital. Please give a very big round of applause. With this, may I now request our esteemed founder president Shri Sanjeev Kumar Raut to escort our honorable chief guest Shri TV Mohandas Pai to light the lamp and mark the ceremony as open. I also request the esteemed CEOs representing their startups who are present here to please join our chief guest to light the lamp. I would request the CEOs of these startups who are present here to please join the lighting the lamp session. Thank you so much, sir. Dear audience, we are indeed privileged today to have here with us our beloved Honorable Founder President Shri Sanjeev Kumar Raut, who has been instrumental and unceasingly committed in making C.V. Raman Global University a clean, green and a smart organization. CGU, under his able leadership, has been a rock-solid platform to stage the nation's first gold medal winner in the prestigious World Skills Competition, to present multiple national and international skills and hackathon winning teams, to consistently upgrade its skilling and startup innovation supportive infrastructure and ecosystem, to work and promote the United Nations defined sustainable and developmental goals in the state and community, to bag innumerable awards and accolades in education, research and development, international relations, and not to mention extending philanthropy and social responsibilities in form of education patronage for the students seeking support not only in the community, in the state, in the nation and also across the globe. With this, may I now invite our esteemed President, sir, to address our eager audience on this splendid occasion. Sir, please.
Respected Chief Guest, PadmaShri Award Dr. Mohandas Paiji, our esteemed guest, panelists, invitees from the startups, and my dear students. It's really a great honor for us to have Dr. Mohandas Pai with us today to address the new budding startups and to the young minds, to ignite them, that how startups is going to help our country's economy and how and what is going to be our future after 10 years or even more than that. My dear students and the august audience, yesterday I was watching the television and I found a debate going on, and one of the panelists is shouting, there are so many engineering colleges, government is speaking about skilling and employment, and there is no job. People are not getting job. And as an edu entrepreneur, I was laughing and thinking that could have been given an opportunity, then I could have spoke what I am going to speak. Education is not only for employment, and especially engineering education. When a student get knowledge about engineering, they become versatile. Certainly they can get job, but they can pursue the business much better than any regular graduate, and there is a much better opportunity for them to become an entrepreneur. In any engineering university or anywhere in the country, if there is 1,000 students, out of that, if 25 students become entrepreneur, they create employment for the rest of the students. As you know how the bank work, if all of you go to the bank and deposit money, and if you one day you all decide to withdraw the money, the bank will collapse. And in a country where there is 10 lakh students getting into engineering education and each 10 lakhs want a job, no government in the world can provide them job. The best part of the government or institutions, the university and the society is to educate the youth and encourage them to become entrepreneur. The problem with us that we have recovered from colony after 300 years of ruling of the Britishers, and we are knocker and we are employees to them, and most of the people prefer to become an employee. And majority of the good brilliant students having capabilities, they always look at for a job, secure job, and they don't like to take a risk, or they don't like to become an entrepreneur, take a chance to build a business, make money for themselves, make money for the country, and create a lot of jobs. Today, we have Dr. Mohandas Paiji, who is an outstanding person and really well-known person in the field of startup ecosystem. And he has guided, mentored many startups in the country, and who has reached success, who is, you will listen from his mouth, and it is known to many of you. And I am sure that our university is going to conduct such event in the future to help the new startups ecosystem in Odisha and the Bhubaneswar, to give them opportunity to interact with such people, to learn from them and take the benefit of their advices. And as an university also, we are committed that we will set up and create such ecosystem which will help the new startups to access to the best of the technology. Being a new university, we have a manufacturing center, a robotic manufacturing center where the startups can have their precision manufacturing components. We are also committed for renewable energy. We are setting up a big center of excellence with a couple of one international partner and 2 domestic partner. And we are also looking at food processing, which is one of the emerging area for the startups, and opportunities are there to set up the complete professional manufacturing unit where startups can come and really manufacture their products, and we'll help them to label and packaging also. Like that, many kids are very much driven by robotics and drone, and my students know that what a beautiful lab you have, but we are going to scale it up to the level of industry so that drones startups and other robotic startups, they can really come and do their incubation here and take the benefit of the infrastructure which you have created. At the end, doing this type of conclave and invited talks, exhibitions, giving students opportunity to listen all these things and setting up center of excellence, the objective at the end is that I want out of my 1,000 students, at least 25 should be very good entrepreneurs. Few days back, one of our students came to me. He is in a sports entrepreneur who is setting up stadiums, sports infrastructure across. He was a mechanical student from our university, and he came to my room and he was talking about how we will build a beautiful cricket stadium and other sports infrastructure, and proudly said, "Sir, I have recruited 6 civil students from my university who is working for designing another part of the different sports infrastructure I am doing in India and also abroad." And when we became an university and we were trying to set up a medical college, I found one of my students has already set up a medical college and already recruited more than 500 employees in this setup in Durgapur. So the great things comes to us, the reward come to us when you people become an entrepreneur and create a lot of employment, and we take the pride for that because we feel that we are the proud university who has really allowed to grow this small tree to a big tree which will bear fruits, and the whole country and they all will enjoy with this type of products. And I'll not take much of the time because you all are eager to learn more from Dr. Mohandas Paiji, and I like to thank the startups and the TAI president and all of you to be here, and also thanks to the media people, those who are continuously supporting us. And I like to thank my incubation team, and big thanks to arrange this conclave within a short time, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind address and your powerful words of motivation, especially for our dear audience, our budding technocrats and the budding entrepreneurs. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to introduce the legendary PadmaShri TV Mohandas Pai. Mr. Pai had his early education in Bangalore. He has a BCom LLB degree from Bangalore University and is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He joined Infosys as CFO in 1994, becoming a board member in 2000 and continuing until 2006. During his tenure, Infosys set high standards in all corporate activities. He has always been very passionate about technology, higher education, skill development, and multiple areas. He chaired the FICCI Higher Education Committee and the FICCI Skill Committee. He is the founder trustee of Akshay Patra Foundation, the world's largest midday meal program, and he currently is a venture capitalist, chairman of Aarin Capital and 314 Capital. Tonight we welcome an accomplished individual whose journey epitomizes a rare blend of corporate excellence and social responsibility. So please join me in extending a very warm welcome to PadmaShri TV Mohandas Pai. So may I now request our Honorable Chief Guest of the event to please address our eager audience. So please.
How do you move the cursor? No, keep it this thing. Not microphone. Clicker. Are you move it? Folks, thank you very much for inviting me. I first came to Odisha in 1995. I think many of you were not even born. We brought Infosys to Odisha, set up a campus here. I remember we visited Odisha many times to find an office. We couldn't find an office. We're going back when the then Chief Secretary, S.P. Mishra, called me and said, have you found an office? He said, no. He said, go to this place and see whether you like it. We went to an office building under construction by an organization called UTKAL. It's a nice building, and we called him up and said, it's a nice place. He said, take it. UTKAL protested, being a government body. Then S.B. Mishra had a meeting, and he said, Infosys is more important to Odisha than any other small organization. From there, today, I think Infosys got 8,500 employees, 50,000 people have worked here and gone outside, and I think they established themselves. So it's been many years, and very happy to be back. I want to talk about what is happening in India and how this is going to change the world and change India forever, and how you people here are going to make the difference for the future of this country and the future of this planet. First, let us understand India. We are 1.4 billion people. Population growth rate is 0.8. Our fertility is 2.0 below the replacement rate of 2.3. So we don't have a population problem. We're going to have an aging problem. We are 130 million people above the age of 60 now. By 2030, we'll have 200 million people above the age of 60. And you people have to work very hard to make sure they're taken care of. So you have a great responsibility. Life expectancy is 72 years, which is quite low. Our literacy is only 78%, which again is quite low for multiple reasons. We are $3.47 trillion in GDP, the fifth largest in the world after the United States, China, Japan, Germany, and India. We'll probably overtake Germany either this year or the next year, and Japan maybe in 2 years. We'll be the third largest economy very soon. We're growing pretty fast. In PPP, an economic measure by which you take the value of a basket of goods and services and compare that with the same value in other countries, shows that the GDP is $12.2 trillion, with the third highest in the world. The PPP multiple of 3.5 times for India is the highest in the world. China's multiple is only 0.6. It's important for you to understand, because there's so much of negative news about employment and other things by the leftist people in this country, who I don't think have done much to grow this country at all, particularly who are situated in the eastern part of India. I come from the south, so we're very different. Export-import make up maybe 55-60% of GDP, which is very good. We got more than $600 billion of foreign exchange reserves. Government borrowing is very low. Our major challenge is that a large part of revenues go to pay interest because of high borrowing costs in the past. So population has grown at 1.49% from 91 to 2023. Life expectancy has grown a little bit. Literacy has grown only 1.28% a year. GDP has grown at, GDP growth rate has gone up. GDP now, in 1950, when we got a constitution, India was the richest country in Asia. China was destroyed in the war. Southeast Asia was destroyed in the war. Japan was destroyed in the war. Of the 5 richest people in Asia, 3 were Indian. Till then, India was a free market economy where we had economic freedom. But our first Prime Minister, in his great wisdom, having studied at Harrow and Cambridge and being enthused by the Fabian School of Economics, brought in what is called socialism. Socialism meant state control of the economy, license quota raj, and suppression of private capital. We did not have economic freedom, and India suffered because of the bad policies. We grew at 3.5% a year from 1950 to 1980. The world grew at 4.5%. Asia grew at 6.5%. In 1980, we became poorer than in 1950 on a comparative basis. I graduated from the BCom degree in 1979, and I want to tell you a story, because that shows the anger of my generation and the frustration we felt, and you are in a much better position today. It's important to know history. There was a movie called Diwar. How many of you have seen Diwar? Pathetic. All of you must see that movie. You'll understand what India was. Diwar is about a trade union leader who goes to negotiate with the mill maliks of Bombay. He wants more money for his people. But they don't want to give more money, so they capture his wife and children and threaten him that if he doesn't sign, they're going to take care of them. So he's scared and he signs. The laborers find out, they beat him up and they throw him away. They catch his elder son and on his arm here write, Mera baap chor hai. They lose the father, then the mother takes the elder son and the younger son to Bombay. Everybody went to Bombay those days. The country was poor. You've seen the Hindi movies where this handsome young man in a village will be growing up. He is very romantic. He falls in love with the Thakur's daughter and they run around the trees and sing songs. And then he goes tell Thakur, I want to marry your daughter. And the Thakur says, Tu kon ho, kiske paas, tera paas kya paisa hai? Then he says, Thakur, main dikhaunga, and goes to Bombay. Becomes a criminal or something, makes a lot of money, comes back after 10 years, that girl is married and away, and there's a tragedy, right? So everybody went to Bombay. So they also went to Bombay. They lived on the footpaths of Bombay, and the elder boy used to shine shoes, shoe shine boy. And the younger fellow got education, was put into school. So there's a scene of a elder boy shining shoes. A very smartly dressed man comes, he's talking to his colleague, and his shoe is shined, and he throws a coin to this boy. And this boy looks up to the man and says, "Mai fenka hua paisa nahi leta hu." Angry young man, only 14 years. Then this person, I think, is not Ajit, somebody else, he says, "Ye to lamba safar ka goda hai." Then the next scene we see the young man become a grown-up man, work in the docks of Bombay, as a coolie. And there, the thugs of Bombay come and extort money from all the laborers. On payday, they take away 20-25% of money, or they beat you up. There's no law and order in the country. And then he sees an old man refuse to give money. He's beaten up and pushed away. Then a truck rides over him and he gets killed. So this Amitabh Bachchan gets very angry and upset and beats up all the goons. Then he becomes the Dada of the mill area. Then the smuggler who had thrown the koi calls him and says, "Vijay, you come and work with me. We will be smugglers, we'll make a lot of money." Vijay agrees. Then he takes out money from a drawer and says, "Abhi paisa le lo." He said, "Main fenka hua paisa abhi bhi nahi leta hu." Then he becomes a big smuggler. Younger son gets educated, gets a degree, a piece of paper. Then he goes for a job. He goes to many interviews, doesn't get it. Finally, one employer gives him a job and he's ecstatic, he's very happy. He goes outside the door, he's called back because the Malik calls up that manager and tells him, "Give this job to my relative." The manager says, "I'm sorry." So he goes away, writes a government exam and becomes a police officer. And the police officer is so joyous, he celebrates, mother is happy. Poor mother, right? She struggled. And then within some time he finds out his brother is the biggest smuggler in Bombay and the richest man. And he goes tells his mother. So the mother and the younger son confront the elder boy and go to the house. And his mother says, "Vijay, tune kya kar diya hai?" Then Vijay says, "Dekho ma, kisne likha hai, kya likha hai? Dekho, mera paas paisa hai, bangla hai, gari hai, sab kuch hai, tera paas kya hai?" The younger fellow says, "Mera paas ma hai." You can't win the argument. Then they go away and the younger son, hunts him down, a policeman. They have a big fight later, shoots him. And Vijay gets wounded. He comes to a temple and fights with his God. "Why have you done this to me? What have I done?" And then his mother comes there and he puts his head on the mother's lap and he cries and says, "Maa, main bahut tak gaya hu," and dies. And the movie, of course, they all get married and all nice stuff. Why am I saying this? Because of bad policy of the government, we had no jobs. We had no future. I got a rank in my CA. I got job offers, all in Bombay, not in Bangalore. But people didn't have jobs. We were very poor. It's a state of mind. Today, you are fortunate to be in an economy which is booming, which is the third largest. And you have so many opportunities. And that happened because your economic rights were curtailed. Private sector was, suppressed. And private sector could not invest. So in 1980, we opened up. 80 to 90, we grew at 5.5%. GDP grew at 5.5%. Debt grew from 20 billion to 80 billion. And 1991, we are broke. So we opened up in what is called liberalization. At that time, we had only $5 billion, enough for 15 days of imports. India pledged 45 tons of gold, took a 400 million loan, took a loan from IMF and grew. Then look at the magic. GDP has grown from 91, 5.32 lakh crores to 272 lakh crores in 2023 and 296 lakh crores in 2024, 13% a year. That's magic. Why? Because private sector entrepreneurs came up. That's why when Sanjeev says that entrepreneurship is important, see the magic. And in dollar terms, we grew from 275 billion to 3.47 trillion, 8.2% a year every year for 32 years. Only China has grown at 9.9% a year for 40 years. No country in human history has grown at this pace. You should be proud of your country and what people have done. Per capita income grew at only 6.7% because the balance was due to population. Export imports have grown. Today we have a savings rate of 30% of GDP. India invests $1 trillion a year in capital expenditure. $250 billion by the government, balanced by the private sector, etc. If somebody tells you there's no capital investment, laugh at them because they don't look at data. So a lot of good things are happening in this country. India, China, the only country you must compare with China. Many people compare India with the UK. UK is 67 million people, Karnataka 67 million people, UK is a small country. Right? They compare Singapore. Singapore is half the size of Bangalore. Nobody has 1 billion people to manage. It's a very complex, large country. 1,600 languages, 29 states, some 8 or 9 union territories, some 450, 100 political parties, 450 TV channels, 2,000 newspapers. Who can manage this? If somebody wants to be prime minister and manage, we should all applaud them for the braveness, right? So China and India, China's population is shrinking. Last year, Chinese population shrank by 2 million. It came down. 25% of the world population is shrinking. In Japan, last year, 22, 1.4 million babies are born. 1.4 million Japanese died, 800,000 babies are born. The Japanese population of 122 million will become 97 million by 2050 and 67 million by 2100. India's population will start shrinking possibly by 2035, 2040 as we age. Tamil Nadu's population is already, not growing at all. And the number of young people in the age group of 18 to 23 has remained the same for the last 8 years in India. And in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, number of young people age group of 18 to 23 has come down over the last 8 years. So we are aging too, and demographic change is the biggest change for this world along with climate change. So you can see India and China, the Chinese live longer, their literacy is 96%. In 1949, when Mao Tse-tung took over China, he said, women hold up half of heaven. He educated China's women. That's why China has grown. We didn't educate our women. We suppressed our women. We didn't give primary literacy, primary health from 1950. So by 1940, literacy was only maybe 41%. Even today, women's literacy is just about 68%. But the good news is, there are more girls graduating from college in India than boys. For the last 3 years, more girls in school than boys, and girls and women are going to dominate the Indian economy in the next 10-15 years. So all you boys, be very careful, you got very big competition coming on. And because you educated China's women, literacy is 96%, they're $19 trillion of GDP, $33 trillion of PPP, whereas we are 12.2% of PPP. China is the largest importer, largest exporter, largest producer of goods with 25% of global manufacturing. It's got the largest foreign exchange reserves of $3.1 trillion. So can you be a China? Maybe not. But we can be like China. So we can grow very fast for the next 20 years. The best years for India's growth is going to be in the next 20 years when all of you will go into the workforce. We are 12 years behind China in growth. 12 years back, China was 3.5 trillion. We are growing fast. 22, 23, 7.2, 23, 24 will be 7%. The world is changing. In 1750, with the Industrial Revolution, Europe became the most dominant part of the global economy and colonized the world. Till then, China, India were the richest countries in the world. From the dawn of human civilization to 1000 ADE, common era, I think ACE or CE or whatever it is, India was the richest country in the world, the largest economy. China took over, then started colonization and invasion from Central Asian countries, and we declined. So in 2030, the emerging markets and the rest of the world GDP will be growing faster than the developed countries. So this decade, we're going to see the transition where economic growth will be faster in the developing countries, lesser in the developed countries, so going to age. And we are going to see this shift of power leading to geopolitical tension. Important for all of you to understand globalization. Growth rates for India are pretty good for 23 and 24. And India is a very big country, a strong country. 125 million tons of steel, second largest in the world. 390 million tons of cement, second largest. Two-wheelers, largest manufacturer. 5.2 million vehicles, third largest this year. Construction, second largest. LCT, third largest. Wireless phone, largest. India is a very large economy. It is not shown in GDP because of low prices. Coal, second largest. Iron ore, third largest. Aviation, railways, roadways, etc. Food grain, second largest. Second largest producer of food grains in the world. Our productivity is 50% of China. If a productivity goes to China, we'll have enough food to feed half the world. Milk production, largest in the world. Cotton, largest. Horticulture, fruits and vegetables, largest after Brazil. Sugar production, largest. Spices, largest. We have the largest amount of cropland in the world. The cropland of undivided India, right from Peshawar all the way to, let us say, Chittagong, was the largest the world has ever seen for any country. Now, after division, the Indian belt is still the largest, the most fertile belt, with the largest number of livestock in the world. And India is the only country where livestock has got fundamental rights. They can go where they want on the streets. So we got a very strong financial sector, 5,500 listed companies, about $4.35 trillion of market value. I think we're the third largest market value, or fourth largest market value in the world, overtaking Hong Kong last week. And we have a large number of listed companies. Our mutual fund industry has gone to 50.7 lakh crores. FDI is around 40-50 billion. Last year was bad, but I think it'll pick up next year. So we're doing well on all accounts. We have a young population, 28.7 medium age. Japan is 48, no future, they'll shrink. UK is very old, they will also start shrinking. USA and China is actually shrinking in population. Will not shrink for the next 14-15 years, but if people don't have babies in future, India is going to be in bad shape. Working population, we'll have the largest number of young people in the world by 2100, which is very good. So we got to give them education, we got to give them jobs, etc. Now, we are producing high quality of jobs. If you look at the EPFO data, 1.6 crore people joined the EPO and paid a subscription for the first time. 52% of them were younger people, I think 18 to 26. And then women were 26%. So large number of jobs are being created, but the problem is about 80% of jobs pay less than 20,000 rupees a month. That's why young people are unhappy. They want more money. They want 40-50,000 minimum to start with, but jobs pay less because a lot of people come into the workforce, but there are a large number of jobs. In the south of India, there are more jobs than people. UP2 has more people than jobs, so that Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. Even Odisha has more people than jobs, but you know, Odisha has done very well in the last 20 years. I'm sure we will do very well in the next 20 years. And look at this. This is an important slide for all of you. We are in the midst of the digital revolution. In 1750, the industrial revolution started with the age of the machines. The machine age led to the domination of Europe. We are now in the middle of the digital revolution. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, 5.6 billion have a phone number, 5.5 billion possibly are on the internet. The world has changed. And the digital revolution is going to change business models. The digital revolution is going to change the way we live, we eat, we breathe, we interact with people, etc. And I think it's very important for all of you to understand, you're all digital natives. You talk to people like me, we have seen a world when the rotary phones and many, black and white TV, no TV, etc. You speak to the next generation, they saw a little bit of that, more of mobile phones and digitization. You speak to young people of 13 to 15, they're a meta generation. They move from virtual reality to reality seamlessly. My generation was the machine age generation, digital generation. We are the analog generation. I think the next generation, my young two boys are the digital revolution. And you people are somewhere between digital and meta. Now the world has changed. Everybody buys everything by an app. It's so easy. When you go to the airport, you use that Digi Yatra app, you go in. That fellow doesn't have to, the person doesn't have to check your name and everything and irritate you. right? It's so easy. You can transfer money in 30 seconds anywhere in the world. It works. The biggest companies are all digital companies. Out of the top 10 top 10 most valuable companies in the world, I think about 7 are digital companies. Saudi Aramco is an oil company, it's a country by itself. Berkshire Hathaway and Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly is a drug company. You understand? But I think Berkshire also has got Apple, a lot of Apple stock. But the world has changed. If you look at from 1917 to here, industry, then came technology, and then came digitization, and the digital world dominates. So value is going to be in the digital world because those disruptors get a disproportionate share of value. The most profitable companies in the world, many of them are digital companies. And you look at the right-hand side, how they've grown from 2005 to 2021. Microsoft crossed $3 trillion in market value. Apple, $3 trillion. Can you believe $3 trillion? That's more than the GDP of most countries in the world. This is enormous. This kind of change has never happened. Apple earns $100 billion. $100 billion is 8,20,000 crores of profit. And Apple has got a revenue of $500 billion, 40 lakh crores. The US rules the world. US is the dominant digital power. China is number 2 and India is number 3. We're a great digital power, and you can see where the world's cloud infrastructure is to store data. The world's most visited websites, you can see most of them American or Chinese. The EU is an aging digital colony. The EU colonized the world. Now they're becoming America's colony because they don't have much expertise in the digital world. They're being left behind everywhere. Big tech outspends. Big tech is becoming monopolies. What you eat, what you see, what you buy, what you think, what you read, Google knows. And Google will send you data to control your mind. Please remember that all your data is stored in cloud servers in the United States, subject to the NSA of the United States, and you have no control. And this is the biggest threat to humanity, and you can see it here. Monopolies are not encumbered geographic boundaries. Earlier, when you want to sell, you need to have an office, build a supply chain. Now, the global supply chain of the Industrial Revolution, which connected producers to consumers, is being replaced by the digital supply chain. So everybody is on the same internet platform. Consumers come, buyers come, you check and see and you buy, and then you're sold, and then delivery takes place by suppliers who are behind the platform. So the platform economy has taken over to connect consumers and suppliers. So anybody in a small town, anywhere in India or anywhere in the world can put up a business and sell to the whole world. You don't require a distribution chain. This is lowering the barriers for growth of business and giving young people an edge. Today, with just about 100 rupees and a laptop, you can start your own business by buying capacity on the cloud, putting up your app and trying to do business. Try doing it 10 years ago. You have to set up a data center, you buy a server, you have to get capacity, everything is gone. It becomes so easy to be an entrepreneur. But you've got to have an idea. The new normal, global tech conglomerates are ruling the world. Apple, Alphabet, Amazon. Apple has got 2 billion people in iOS. Amazon app has got 4 billion people. And Amazon has probably got 1.5 billion customers. Right? Android has got 4 billion. So they become bigger than most countries in the world, and they control what happens in the world. And look at this. The monopolies are rising. Never in human history have 2 companies got a monopoly like this. Mobile operating system, 2 companies, 99%. Right? Internet search, 1 company, 92%. This is a global level. Meta and Twitter and social media, cloud, digital advertising. And all of them are American companies. And that's the battle you have to fight. The future areas of competition are what we call transversal technologies, from applied AI and edge computing to nanomaterials. And now we are going to have, chips put into your brain through neural links, so you can control what happens. The brain has more than 82 billion neurons, and they connect with each other and store memory through weak electrical impulses. Now, putting these chips, you can find out what to do and possibly, control what you do. So in future, maybe young people don't have to read all those books to pass their exam to get the piece of paper. The chip will be there, you download from the web. You can see movies full day, and before the exam, download it, and then control it, and through the web itself, write your exam and do whatever it is, right? Is that going to be a reality? Maybe some of you will make it happen. Airbnb uses neural networks to personalize. Airbnb is our biggest hotel company in the world. This is the kind of disruption that's happening through technology. And it's happening at a very rapid pace. Spotify uses AI to create weekly personalized playlists, find songs that you want based on patterns. Raytheon is building an exoskeleton to make human beings stronger. This is all based on technology. Implant chips that allow users to maintain digital verification. So you can go everywhere and you have a chip in your hand and you will be verified. And it will be fantastic. And Neuralink is a brain-machine interface, intelligent enough to enable real-time neural communication with computers. So very soon you're going to have a remote by which somebody is talking to you, don't want to hear, you just have to press it and the sound waves will be neutralized. Don't try it. Airbnb has built a exponential organization. There's a J curve where that's the hope and the dream of every startup, that you have a J curve where suddenly you grow and suddenly boom, 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 you become very large, right? Look at these figures. Foxconn has completely automated some of the factories. And this is the biggest threat to jobs. And it's going to happen in India in 10 years. Foxconn had 11 lakh young women working 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, staying in hostels. They all came from rural areas and worked. Then they went to the boss and said, I want a salary raise. HR said, salary raise. Said, what salary raise? They started replacing 50,000 girls every year with robots. Because robots have dexterity in the fingers. Robots never had dexterity in the fingers. Your fingers are dexterous. You can move like this, do assembly and everything else. Now robots can do all that because the sophistication of technology and mathematical formulae, right? So 50,000 girls are being replaced by robots, and robots don't require increments, no work-life balance, no day, no night, no play, no nothing. They work 24/7. They produce, right? Just imagine. HR will become very easy. Every time you go, your boss asks for a raise, please be careful. This is real. It's happening in India too at this point of time. A friend of mine went to a factory 1 kilometer deep, a half a kilometer, no lights. He asked, are they working? Entire robots. They manufacture, put it onto a truck, and the truck goes away by itself. Can you believe that? Adidas has got 3D printing machines to print shoes. So they design and deliver within 2 months. So imagine you have a factory in China, you have labor, you make shoes, you make garments. Then suddenly you want to go outside China. You set up factories in 10 different places and you design in Bangalore, press a button, all 10 places will manufacture everything, print it, 2 weeks is over. No supply chain, no nothing. It can all be done. It's being done by 3D printing. You must have a 3D printing lab here. I think it's important for them to understand how to design and build on a 3D. There's ultimate, robots, humanoids. This robot can run at 60 kilometers and do a backflip and land on the feet. Robots can lift, robots can spot, robots can pull, robots can do everything. The cheetah robots which run at 60 kilometers an hour. Robots will be able to do 60% of what human beings do. Human beings will still have jobs. You got to be skilled, you got to get great skills and do better jobs than a robo. So I think in 10 years' time, we're going to have deep challenges. India is 10 years behind, so don't worry. You'll all get job for 10 years. After that, we'll see, because we had to build roads, we had to build dams, we got to do a lot of things. And this is ultimate. CRISPR technology allows you to re-engineer DNA in the womb. Or in a Petra dish, can you grow a baby in a Petra dish? They grow an embryo for a lamp, embryo of a lamp in a Petra dish. So in the gene pool, you go twist the gene by CRISPR, edit the gene and get superior properties. There's the old story told about George Bernard Shaw. You heard of George Bernard Shaw? How many of you? You guys have to read some books. What, Shobha? What's happened to Odisha? They don't read books. George Bernard Shaw is a famous writer, old man, and Anna Pavlova was a famous ballerina. Anybody heard of Anna Pavlova? She's one of the most beautiful women in the world. One day she met George and said, George, if you have a baby together with my beauty and your brains, it'll be wonderful. George said, what happens if it has your brains and my beauty? So this CRISPR technology, we don't know, but you must not allow scientists to do this or edit the gene of living beings. I think it's very dangerous. We never know. We've seen the story Frankenstein. I think you must read the book called The Frankenstein to understand what happens. Digitization is transforming India. Smartphone users 1.1 billion. Internet users 900 million. Urban internet hours 396. Rural 504. You can see everywhere that India is doing extremely well. India is the third largest digital power in the world. Our price per data has come down, per dB of data. Per GB of data has come down. It's the cheapest in the world. And we consume 28 GB of data per month. This is the data of Reliance Jio. People spend a lot of time on the internet. Even the US people spend a lot of time. Of course, we got a lot of time in the day. All around the country, you can see drivers looking at movies on their web phone. I don't know what they do. Policemen are doing it in Bangalore all the time. They're not managing the police. That's what I'm told. A lot of people are doing a lot of things, and everybody is busy. And everybody's become very wise. Everybody's extremely well informed. Everybody sees 3 or 4 hours of video per day. And they know how the world is doing, what everybody is doing. It's amazing how education has become so much better because of, digitization. YouTube usage, Indians are largest on YouTube, largest on Amazon, largest, of course, Paytm is an Indian company, and there's a huge internet opportunity because business models are changing. The startup system will help create a $10 trillion economy in India. Third largest in the world, 119,000 startups, 22,000 startups funded. Anybody can have a startup and register on DPIT, that's counted as a startup. We don't know whether they got a PPT, no office, no nothing, but okay, people are doing it, that's good news. They created $550 billion of value so far. That's enormous amount of value, and we got large numbers, we're the third largest in the world, and it's built on top of the software service industry. India exports $200 billion of software. It's the largest in the world. 60% of global outsourcing comes to India. Of the top 10 software service companies by market value, 5 are Indian. Of the top 5, 3 are Indian. 55 lakh people are employed in software. 2 years ago, we hired 500,000 people. 50% of global hiring in technology was in India. Now, of course, the hiring has come down because they got too much of hiring 2 years ago. And like I said, of the 3.2 million software people in the top 10 companies in the world, 2.3 million are Indians. US has 6 million people in software, 1 million are Indians. Out of 5.5 million, 3 million work for American companies. Out of 10 million working for American companies, 4 million are Indians. And Bangalore has 23 lakh people working in technology, more than Silicon Valley. India in 2 years will have more people in software than the United States. And we will dominate this field in software. And that is the source for which India will become a big digital power. And that's helped the startup industry. We'll have by 2025, 200,000 startups employing 32 lakh people. Right now, I think they employ 15 lakh people. And we'll have 250 unicorns. And right now, we got about 110 unicorns. India exports more software than Saudi Arabia exports oil. Only 1% of the working force in India is in software, but we export 200 billion. That's the largest industry in India. Startups raised $146 billion of capital from 2014 to 23. 700 accelerators, institutional investors, huge system. Last year we got 10 billion, before that 25 billion, before that 42 billion. Hopefully in 24 we'll be able to have 15, 20 billion. And you can see where they're all concentrated. Bangalore is 36%. Chennai is far away, very small. Hyderabad is small. Bombay and Delhi. Odisha should be somewhere on the way from Bangalore to Calcutta, right? Huh? It got lost somewhere. So you guys really have to work hard to bring Odisha up. You got to have more startups, get more capital, do much more. 110 unicorns who created $350 billion of value. There'll be 250 unicorns, 120, 130 sunicorns who could become unicorns. This year we should get 25, 30 unicorns if money starts coming in. Unicorns are primarily because money comes in. And you can see here, India's VC system, how many companies are getting funded by VCs. You need to develop a VC industry in Odisha too. Indian VC industry has matured. We have more than about 1,200 funds, 7 lakh crores of money with them. It's huge. We have 2,500 fund managers in the country. Early stage investing has shown strong growth last year, even though B and C and D were very less compared to the previous year. The returns have been pretty good. We'll see from 2016 to 20, IRR has been pretty good. Indian startups are giving you 35-40% returns. This year will be less because funding has not come in, but the returns are pretty good. Value creation at an unprecedented pace. These are all old data. 21, 45, 42 unicorns, 22, 25 unicorns. And this valuation will go to about 1.5 trillion by 25-26 from $550 billion today. So we will add possibly in the next 2 or 3 years about $1 trillion of value if the markets open up. It all depends how much money comes in. India is growing as a deep tech hub. We got AI startups, IoT, AR, VR, robotics, etc. They're pretty small because they need more capital. I think in deep technology, there are a lot of good, interesting companies coming up in this country, all over India, and that is a very, very healthy sign. Sanjeev, I remember an Englishman coming and meeting me about 4 years ago in my office. I think just after the COVID second wave, maybe 3 years ago, he said, Mohan, a lot of exciting things in the UK. Oh, we got app companies. I told him every kid writes an app in Bangalore, in every street. So they're getting excited about app companies coming up. So digital platforms are being used by every Indian to transfer money. You go to a remote place, there'll be a vegetable vendor who will take money from you on a QR code, right? And in many parts, the police used to extort money from the vegetable vendors. Now they don't have cash. So everything is by QR code, money goes directly to the bank, and police have become very smart. They also have a QR code, Bejo. In UP, in a court, it's very funny. There's a judge sitting here, clerk sits here, you go there, talk to the clerk, give him some money, I've seen it, and he puts the case up. The judge sees the case and decides and throws the case down. That's what means case thrown out. The case was thrown out. Now, there was a Darwan there because everything became electronic. He used to stand with the QR code here. And people used to pay money, not the clerk. And the clerk used to get a ping. They caught him, somebody took a photograph, put on Twitter, then police caught him and put him outside because they're taking a bribe. So, things have become different. And India has done very well in the last 10 years. India has transformed. In the last 10 years, 550 crore people have got health care, access to health care, 335 crore have got insurance, education, dropout rates have come down, 26.5 crore children are in school, 4.3 crore young people are in college, 1 crore graduate every year. Do you know that? 1 crore graduate every year, 4.3 crore, 28% GER, gross enrollment rate. Women are slightly higher than men. Housing. Modi has given 3 crores houses, will be 5 crores by another 2 years. People have got water, healthification. The point I want to make is, in the last 10 years, because of government action using technology, almost all Indians have the basic necessities of life. If all Indians have a roof over the head, water in the tap, power in the switch, toilet in the house, a gas stove, a bank account, an internet connection, money in the bank, education for children, food on the table, and health insurance, imagine what they will be. They will not fight for survival. They'll fight for growth. Children will go to school. There'll be enough food. That's what has happened to this country. So growth is going to be pretty good from now on because we have solved the basic challenges of life for all Indians because of technology. Digital media has gone mainstream. Digital consumption is going up. India constitutes YouTube's biggest user base. See the numbers. Online gaming did very well, raised a lot of money. Government didn't understand, taxed them. They're all gone to Dubai. And they're laughing all the way to the bank. And all our legislators will do Japa in India. All of them are gone. So you come with bad laws, they will go to Dubai. In the Dubai flight, I met an entrepreneur whose son is a crypto entrepreneur. He says, making so much of money, why come to India? Right? So you can't stop entrepreneurship, you can't stop technology. Gaming. More hours are streamed on Twitch than people playing games. You used to go to a stadium to play games, now you go to a site to see people playing games. It becomes a spectator sport. E-commerce is growing fast in this country and will grow faster. Tier 2, Tier 3 cities will be the growth drivers because, you see, in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, smaller cities, you never got enough goods. Now on the platform, you get anything that you want. There's no barrier. You can go buy and they'll deliver it home at a very low cost. B2B commerce is coming up. There's B2C, then B2B. EdTech is doing very well. Some of them are in some trouble, but nevertheless, they're done very well, change the way we study. Why do you go to a college? You go to a college to get knowledge. Half the knowledge is information which you can get digitally. You go to a college for socialization, to meet younger people and to grow up and to discuss and to learn how to compete. That is essential. You go to college to get assessment. That can be done electronically. Then you go to college to get a brand. So you go to a good university, you get your brand. And then you go to college to make sure that you can get good jobs and become part of a network. Half the things, reasons for you to go to college can be done electronically without going to college. Now look at the benefits that people are getting. Health tech growing pretty well. I'm just showing all this to show you the opportunity that exists in almost every sector. India Stack is the greatest piece of software built by volunteers in Bangalore, under which you got Aadhaar, you got digital KYC, UPI, open data personal store. Your Digi Yatra is an open personal digi store where you can store your data and that can be used to let you inside an airport. UPI is again an app by which you can transfer money. All that happens because you got Aadhaar, and Aadhaar is an identifier. 65 crore people in India were not existing legally because they didn't have a document showing who they are. No address, nothing. Now Aadhaar has given them an address, which is a very good app. It's taken 13 years for Aadhaar to grow. You can see the number of years it's grown. World-class products are being built. All of you are lucky because you can build apps on top of Aadhaar. You don't have to pay any money. If you're in any of the country, you have to pay Google, you have to feed the beast. Pay Google, Facebook, you don't have to pay because you can start off a company with an app. Impact of the India Stack, time reduced to do business has come down. You can open a bank account fast, get a SIM card fast, and you can get a mutual fund account fast. So we're going from data poor to data rich country. And when data rich, we'll have huge databases, the largest in the world, where we can run AI and machine learning to do things faster. It's the biggest advantage India will have. Indian banking is fundamentally sound, so we have a great banking sector. Full stack digital banking is by neobanks the future. Neobanks have come up. Neobanks are a layer of apps on all your bank accounts. So you can have 5 bank accounts and they'll consolidate, give you one view by a neobank, and the neobank will use your data and send it to banks to bid for loans for you. Your cost of money will come down because neobanks can make banks bid. Banks will become utilities in the future. Digital payments have grown, doubled in about 2 years. Digital payments are 87% of all payments in India. This is enormous. No country has done this. No country in the world. You can see 12.2 billion monthly UPI transaction, $227 billion monthly. Huge. Unbelievably huge. It's become commonplace for us to transfer money. India is a leader in real-time payments. 45% of digital payments globally are in India. 45%, more than China, more than US, more than the UK. Banking as a service will be on top of banks to disrupt banking. Zerodha, they are earning 2,750 crore profit every year. 2 young kids from Bangalore. Digital broking, all small towns, people are doing day trading, losing money or making money or whatever they're doing. Credit without fiction. People believe that everybody can get credit within 30 seconds or maybe 2 minutes because all the information will be available. So new digital public goods will serve as India's startup flywheel. This is a new innovation that is happening, like a data exchange. We're going to have a data law where data belongs to you. If you want to exchange or sell it to somebody, you will get money or you can refuse, and that's why we need data exchange. This is coming like an account aggregator for banking. You can see the numbers here. Account aggregator framework has come up. Consented data exchange is happening to give consent. OCEN, that is Open Credit Enabled Network, will revolutionize digital lending because the data will be available for giving you money. ONDC is growing very fast. These are for mom and pop shops. Once you come on ONDC, all your data will be there on the big e-commerce sites, and everybody can do business on e-commerce. This is the schematic. India's emerging health stack will have the largest quantum of health data for any country in the world very soon. Hopefully this year we'll get access to the data. There's going to be a UPI moment in Indian healthcare. Open protocols. India is a pioneer in open protocols. That means you don't have to pay Google and Facebook for using that tech. Number of years, look at this. It took 19 days for Pokemon to go from 0 to 50 million users. Arogya Setu took 13 days. Meta took 2 days, right? With a new Twitter-like app by Meta. Look at the speed of change. This is what you are. Because by using a digital platform, you can reach millions of consumers on the same day. Reliance is building its own tech conglomerate by having layers of companies all around through Geo the pipe. Tatas are trying to do the same. Hopefully they'll catch up. Indians create unicorns globally. 90 plus founders, Indians are founders of US unicorns. We have 4.2 million Indians in the US documented, 1 million work in software. 44% of US unicorn founders are not Indian. Of them, Indians are the largest at 90. The world has 1,300 unicorns. India, China, and USA have 1,200, near 1,200. So we're building a robust foundation to enable innovators. So there'll be many challenges, there'll be innovative solutions, and everything is built for you to become entrepreneurs and become unicorn holders. So India is optimizing to empower problem solvers. You've got to be a problem solver. You've got to find a problem and solve the problem using technology. And this will make India efficient and allow it to grow faster and become a $10 trillion economy. Thank you very much. We'll have some Q&A, some questions if you want to ask. Any questions? I hope you understood my presentation. It's a bit fast just to give you data. Anybody questions? Sanjeev told me that you're all bright young people.
Hello.
Somebody else. Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have a question for the startup. What is more important, a unique idea for the startup, or an idea where the market is already there and they just have to create their space?
Well, what is important is a unique idea which is executable by the young person. You got to execute it.
Yes.
Everybody gets brilliant ideas how to change the world. I'm sure in 5 minutes you'll have 2 ideas how to change the world. But you got to execute.
Execute it, exactly.
I think the idea is 10%, execution is 90%. And the execution can lead to a new industry being created, which is going to be a bit tough, or to disrupt existing industries.
Thank
So
you,
it
sir.
could be both. But remember, execution.
Exactly, sir.
Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. That's the sad reality.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on.
Hello.
Why backbench is the brightest, is it? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Debashrita Tripathi. I'm from Frost & Sullivan. This question comes from somebody who works in a research department. Now we are talking about AI, ChatGPT, BARD, so many other AI tools. Even to make a logo, we don't have to do brainstorming. What will happen to these jobs, research-based, secondary research companies which are there? So what will happen to these jobs in the future, in your opinion?
Well, what will happen is that there'll be fewer researchers required, because today, remember, there's enormous number of research papers that have been published. Okay, nobody has read all of them. Using an AI tool, you can get the AI to read everything and point out what are the latest development. They can link a development this week with a development that happened 50 years ago to find whether it's viable. So the need for research and everything will come down. 1. 2, most research is about continuity. Somebody has done something, you do some incremental stuff, quote hundreds of them, and write a new research paper. Now people will write research papers using an AI tool. And that will be corrected for whether it's a plagiarization by another AI tool to check out whether it's wrong. So one AI will fight another AI. So number of researchers, in my view, will come down, and there'll be a pressure on researchers to really think out of the box and be novel. So quality will improve over time, because right now it's all about quantity. You see all the PhDs produced globally, half of them you can't read or understand, right? Now maybe they'll write a PhD thesis using an AI tool. Everybody can write it, but the number of possible PhDs will come down. So I think it's going to impact them deeply, because it's all about incremental research and insights. There's very little out-of-the-box brilliant thinking like a Srinivasa Ramanujan, right?
Thank you, sir.
Don't worry, in India it will take some more time if you are in government-aided institutions.
Good evening, sir. My name is Saurav. Sir, I have an idea about the biofuel.
Biofuel.
Yes, sir. From the Algae and Azola. One of my juniors are doing research on that. Sir, I am confused whether to pursue that biofuel idea since it will be getting blended in the petroleum and crude oil, but we are also focusing on the EV vehicles. So, if like, sir, it is okay if I speak in Hindi, sir. सर अगर हम सोचे अगर 10 साल बाद का अगर हम सोच रहे हैं तो हम ईवी पे ज़्यादा फोकस करेंगे या फिर बायोफ्यूल पे, तो इट्स काइंड ऑफ कंफ्यूजन टू फोकस ऑन विच सेक्टर.
देखिए पहले आपको पहले सोचना पड़ेगा कि ईवी का मार्केट क्या होगा 10 साल के बाद.
यस सर.
अभी तो दुनिया में सब देश में ईवी लोग आ रहे हैं. चाइना में 400 ईवी कंपनीज थे, अभी 107 हो गए. ठीक है, उधर BYD एक बहुत बड़ा कंपनी हो गया है.
यस सर.
और टेस्ला से भी बड़ा हो गया है. तो अभी कंसोलिडेशन फेस है. एक दूसरी बात आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि आपका आइडिया क्या यूनिक है कि किसी ने सोचा नहीं है अभी तक ईवी पर. अगर आप सोचते हो कि और एक ईवी बनाएगा, एक रिक्शा बनाएगा, स्कूटर बनाएगा, वो नहीं होगा क्योंकि लोगों ने बना दिया है. आपका आइडिया क्या इतना यूनिक है कि सारे दुनिया कुछ बदल सकती है, वो सोचना पड़ेगा. और तीसरी बात आपको सोचना पड़ेगा, आपको पैसा कौन देगा. अगर आलगे में पैसा मिलेगा, इधर पैसा मिलेगा, पैसा के बिना आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो. ये सब सोचिए और उसके बाद में आप आगे चलिए.
थैंक यू सर. दैट विल कम.
या go on. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir, good afternoon. My name is Amya Misra. I just wanted to ask that what is the future of national education policy which is implemented by government for the school level education?
No, I think it's already being implemented in CBSE and other school boards. I'm sure all the states will implement it. You see, the beauty of the new education policy is that it gives flexibility and is student-centric. It's the first time in India that we have a policy which is student-centric, where the student is the heart of a policy, not the government. It's a wonderful policy. Every school, every college will do it in a very different way. So it will flourish because it's all about openness and it's all about choice for students.
But sir, the infrastructure level and the quality of skills teachers in India, it is very lacking. So
Absolutely.
I think that it may not be a success in the near future. So
what is success? If 30% of Indian students get a great high quality education, that's success. 30% of school children will be 26 crore into 30. How much is that? About 78 crores, right? 78 crores.
okay.
I'm sorry. 26 crore students are there. 30% of that, that is 7.8. 7.8 crores, 78 million is more than the population of most countries. That's good, isn't it? If you expect 100% to get it, it's not going to happen in your lifetime, my lifetime, 10 lifetimes.
Okay.
It won't happen.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Last question, last two. I would like a lady woman to ask a question. Yeah, who is asking?
Hello.
Go on.
So, sir, good evening, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, let him ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. So, my question was on the slide only. So, like, why is Bangalore developing so much compared to other states? I have also lived in Bangalore. Like, in every street, in every corner, there is an idea. Someone is in a cafe or in a shop, everyone is pitching ideas. In restaurants also, from IT people, they're all the time they're on the
Bangalore
laptops.
attracts the brightest and the best from all over India. Even Gautam Ghosh and Shobha Ghosh are moved there. I don't know when Sanjeev will come, but they also moved there because they're very open culture. So you need to have a place which is open to an outsider who feels wanted. So it's a cultural issue. You go to Chennai, you don't feel that happen. You go to Kerala, it doesn't happen. Correct? You go to Gujarat, it's too Gujarati. You go to Bengal, it's too Bengali, right? Bangalore has got a cosmopolitan culture. The reason is the public sector started there in the 50s and 60s and people came from all over India. That's point number one. And second thing is, technology started there way back in 1982 with Infosys coming, 78 with Textile Instrument coming, is grown there because rental costs were low, people were there. Third, Bangalore's got fantastic educational infrastructure. Bangalore, the highest number of colleges for any district in India, I think 1,000 colleges. So very good education, very good technology. So MNCs have come there. It's got a good climate and good growth, and it is all built up and become very big. And Bangalore, we worked with the government to write policies. I and some people wrote the first IT policy for India in 1997. Were you born then?
No, sir. I just look old. I'm not.
Much before that. So we wrote all this. So there have been a lot of things that came together the same place, and I think it's happened. That's why it's grown. And once like Silicon Valley, why only Silicon Valley? Why not New York? Why not Boston? Boston was very good. It happened there because of multiple things happening, and it creates a network impact. So Bangalore hires about nearly 2 lakh people in technology every year. You're also in Bangalore, no? Yes, sir. Very good. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. So, sir, during your presentation, you mentioned about movements for the world in the next few years. So, my question is that, in fact, I want a reply from you to the question. I hear as a woman working on something that ladki hai isliye har cheez mil jata hai. Is it really true?
What is that?
Like, hello. Yeah. So, like, if there's a woman succeeding in anything, the only answer people or the society give is hello. Yeah. So the only answer people give is you could only succeed just because you are a woman. So I would like to ask, what is your reply or your views on this? That is it really true that women have opportunity because of the gender?
Look, women get opportunities because of how bright and good they are, not because of any gender or anything. I don't believe in that. All right? And women who succeed because they want to succeed, irrespective of what anybody tells them or pulls them down. Nobody can pull down a good person who wants to succeed. So you must stop believing in victimhood narratives and all that, and just do it. You know, I'll tell you an interesting story. I was in Sri Lanka interviewing a woman entrepreneur who has been an entrepreneur for 35 years called Watara Vikramasinghe. One day she was a rebel, she was in college, and one day she took some fashion clothes, put in a car and started selling and built the biggest fashion brand in Sri Lanka. I asked her what happened. Well, one day I decided I just want to go sell. I put it there, I sold and I built it. Did people criticize you? I don't know, they told me they're criticizing me. I didn't care, I did what I wanted. So you always did what I wanted, yes. Did you care for anybody's opinion? No. I succeeded. I built another company. So go ahead and do it. Why bother? See, the background noise is the background noise. Put a Bose speaker on and do what you want. Right? Don't bother. See, they're all background noise. Kiran Majumdar Shah, 40 years, she's a billionaire many times over. She'll still say, I went to the bank, they never gave me money, but she succeeded because of herself. It's okay. When Murthy went to the foreign bank for 2 lakhs, they didn't give him. So after I joined Infosys, every day in the morning you should say, Mohan, never go to a bank for money. I told him, I'll never go to a bank for money. We had a lot of money. And I'll tell you a story about Murthy. One day he came back from a NASCON meeting and he asked me, how much money do you have in the bank? I said about 13,000 crores. No, it's a very cash-rich company. Do you really have the money? I said, yes. Why do you ask? No, I was in a NASCOM meeting where people are talking about a company called Palmanath, a dairy company in Italy where they had a fixed deposit printed with no money and all kind of stuff. So money. Then I told him, are you here in town 2 days from now? He said, yes. I said, I'll go to the bank tomorrow, withdraw all the money, and you and I will sit and count. What else can we do? So don't believe in all this, okay? Just go do it. The only reason you'll succeed is because you want to succeed, okay? Now, yeah, come on.
The audience, I would request you to please
come. Give
your
it her.
questions.
Give it her. After such a long time she's asking a question. Yeah. No. Let her ask anything. It's okay. Yeah. Pucho.
Hello. Hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shweta. And sir, I'm also a South Indian who is struggling here in Odisha. I have worked here in
Very
Pune
good.
as a digital marketer, returned back to my hometown, and here with my best friend working as an entrepreneur, and we're into the manufacturing industry. So my question would be for you that I have come from a culture where the work has been taken on a very fast pace. Nobody cares about delaying anything, and Pune, Hyderabad and Mumbai culture was as such. Once the plan is given, the idea is executed and it is done on the go. But coming from that cultural experience to Odisha, where things are very slow here, so what advice would you give for an entrepreneur like me who's coming from a fast pace and to adjust in this slow pace where everybody has a mindset of being an entrepreneur, but they don't want to work for anybody?
But why are you here?
I'm here because I have to take care of my parents. Excuse me. Let me finish.
I'm really curious. No,
Yeah.
no, don't laugh. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
So, I had to give up my career of 10 years to support my family and friends.
Family is here.
Yes.
Ah.
My father is a retired police officer.
Well, I can only say that you're not in Calcutta, so this is much better, I hope, than Calcutta.
But-
see, let me tell you one thing. Every place has a history. A lot of things have happened earlier, so the pace of life is very fast. You go to Bombay, it's faster than Bangalore. Because they spend 4 hours a day going in the silly trains. Don't have time for anything else. Okay, so I think every place has its own culture. Odisha has its own culture. It has to improve, it has to develop. All of you have to make it happen. I'll tell you a story about Dick Wellington. Dick Wellington was a young man in rural England who went to London. He met a gentleman in the street and said, "Sir, people have told me in my village that the streets of London are paved with gold. But I'm walking around, I don't see anything." Then the gentleman said, "Young man, the streets of London are not paved with gold. The streets of London are not paved at all. And you must now come and pave them yourself. So you got to do it yourself." Okay? I'm sorry, there's no other answer.
No. I was not asking on those terms. I was asking a small suggestion how to motivate those who are not from the fast pace.
What you must do, you must form a startup association, create a lot of activities, create a network, help everybody out. Then as a startup association, you must go to the government and tell them, we want a good incubator like T-Hub in here. I don't think you have something like T-Hub here, right? You need a T-Hub, huh? But do you have a T-Hub like thing? I don't know. T-Hub is really out of the world, better than anything in Bangalore. Have a beautiful thing there. Second, we need a startup fund of 500 crores. So any startup gets seed capital up to 20%. We need a 2,000 crore fund to get us in Series A. Correct. And we need some 25 engineering colleges to be given 2 crores each to set up all this kind of COEs. And we need multiple events here. We need the big REITs to come here and set up offices here so offices become easy. We need the government to open up to startups to give business to them without going to tender, binder and all that. Do it easier. You got a good demand. I'm sure Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik will do it. We did it. We wrote the IT policy in 97. 97, we wrote the first IT policy, went to the minister, he asked me, "Mohan, what is this?" I said, "IT policy, sir. Will it work?" He said, "Yes, sir." Then I told him, "Sir, you go announce, for 2000 we'll export 5,000 crores of software." He said, "How much are you doing in 97? 2,000 crores. He said, "Will you do 5,000 crores? I said, "You go announce." So he went to the chief minister, didn't understand what is IT, GT, but they were going to the US, he signed off. They announced it, we reached 5,000 crores. So you need young people, you need to push, you got to spend 20% of your time pushing things, policy, enthusing people, getting more and more people working with incubators and make it happen. That's the only thing will work.
That is the only struggle. Everybody wants to be entrepreneur, nobody wants to work for each other.
No, you try, no? You should enthuse everybody.
Yeah, I'll take your point.
No, look, don't blame anybody else for anything.
No, it's not a blame, it's just a struggling phase that is
I've
going
been
on.
through that many years. Don't blame, just do it. And gather 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, you'll do well.
Definitely.
Okay?
Thank you,
Now
sir.
we'll
Thank
go
you for
back.
your
Thank you very much.
insights. It was
Thank
lovely.
you.
Dear audience, you will still get a lot of opportunities to query our Honorable Chief Guest during the panel discussion, so please stay tuned. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your profound wisdom presenting fantastic statistics, interesting facts and figures, and a very, very strong, absorbing storyline. Thank you so much. May I now request our revered founder, President, sir, to please present the token of honor to our esteemed guest, PadmaShri TV Mohandas Pai. So please. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now break for 5 minutes to arrange the stage for the most awaited panel discussion on Odisha Unboxed, Igniting Entrepreneurship Perspectives from the Visionaries. So please stay tuned. Students, please be seated. The audience, please be seated. We will just take 5 minutes to arrange the stage and we'll be beginning with the panel discussion very, very shortly. I request you all to please take your seats and be seated. The audience, you are requested to please take your seats. Please be seated. We'll be beginning the panel discussion shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, as we delve into the esteemed panel discussion on Odisha Unboxed, Igniting Entrepreneurship Perspectives from Visionaries, allow me to introduce our distinguished moderator and panelists, each bringing a wealth of expertise and insights to the discussion. Our moderator for today's session is Mr. Gautam Ghosh, a seasoned startup mentor and former CEO of Zebra Technologies, ViewSonic Corp, and MMT Philips, and is the strategic advisor of CV Raman Global University. With a wealth of experience in the startup ecosystem, Mr. Ghosh is adept at facilitating dynamic discussions and ensuring a seamless exchange of ideas among our panelists. With this, may I now invite Mr. Ghosh onto the dais. Sir, please. Sir, please. Joining us is PadmaShri TV Mohandas Pai, a distinguished figure as chairman of Aarin Capital and 314 Capital. His multifaceted expertise spans business and education, making him a visionary in the entrepreneurial landscape. May I now invite Shri TV Mohandas Pai to grace the dais. So please. Shri Harkesh Mittal, Chairman of the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, joins us with his invaluable insights into fostering startups through strategic funding initiatives, contributing significantly to the growth of entrepreneurship in India. May I now invite Shri Harkesh Mittal onto the dais. We are privileged to have Shri Sanjeev Kumar Raut, the founder president of CV Raman Global University, as a panelist today. His role in leading an educational institution provides a unique perspective on nurturing entrepreneurship within academic environments. Shri A.K. Mahanti, the president of TIE Bhuvaneshwar, brings his wealth of experience in fostering entrepreneurship to TIE's network. His insights into the startup ecosystem are sure to enlighten our discussions today. And last but not the least, Mr. Bodhisattva Sangapriya, founder and CEO of IG Drones and founder of ISRO VSLV rocket program, brings a fresh and dynamic perspective to our distinguished panel. As a young entrepreneur, his innovative approach and visionary initiatives in the field of drones and space technology have garnered attention and admiration. We are excited to have Mr. Sangapriya share his experiences and insights, adding a valuable dimension to our discussion on fostering entrepreneurship and innovation. With this, may I now take this golden opportunity to hand over the stage to the esteemed moderator of the session, Mr. Gautam Ghosh. Sir, please. Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Good evening. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. All right. Okay, so I am not the moderator. You will be the moderator. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to start and trigger some discussions. Later on, I'll hand over the questions to you guys. So you guys are going to question. Because unfortunately, we don't have government representation today, but we have half a government, Mr. Mittal sitting here. Most of the questions was to let the government or influence the government as to what the startup ecosystem, enablers and the partners are expecting from them. Yeah. So I will start certain questions, set up the context, and then I'll invite each one of you to ask questions and clarify all your doubts. Trust me, you'll never get this opportunity ever. All right. Welcome, panelists. I'm Gautam Ghosh. We know each other. We haven't met. Mohan, let's start with you again, because to keep your energy level in the same level, of course, there's nothing much you left to imagination because you spoke everything. You have been invited by various chief ministers of various states, Vasundhara Raje ji in Rajasthan, in Goa, Kerala, Maharashtra, Karnataka, various places, to come and advise them how to build a robust startup ecosystem. And you have been extremely involved. In fact, with the Rajasthan and Goa, I was personally involved with you in helping the startup ecosystem build up. So what are these 3-4 key advices which you gave them, which they eventually followed, which actually helped those ecosystems to come up so strongly, especially Rajasthan, of course, Karnataka and Maharashtra as well. So what are those key advices?
Hello.
Gautam, what we need to do is to create excitement in young people. We want people who are imaginative, passionate, energetic, etc. To do that, remember, we started hackathons in many places. We had some 8,000, 10,000 young people come and do an hackathon, right? And we gave some awards. I think that creates a kind of excitement all over Odisha. I think it needs to be done on a large scale. Second thing we need to do is we got to create big labs, giving them some money, COE in AI, machine learning, 3D printing, genomics, etc. in maybe 50% engineering colleges all over Odisha. And then we must do something like an Elevate program that Karnataka does. In Karnataka, every year they ask startups to come and present to a committee or a group. And the winners, and they pick 100 winners, they give them 50 lakhs as grant. 25 lakhs in the first installment, 25 lakhs second installment. So they give them grants. And now I think about 1,000 companies have got the grants. They spend the money and that becomes seed capital for them to come. I think it's important to do that. And now they do it for agriculture, they do it for women, they do it for SC, ST, etc. Because each of the government departments have got money, and that has created a fervor of young entrepreneurs coming forward, because young people will have ideas but they have no money. Nobody gives them money. You got to give them money and let them compete. And then they have a program to give seed grants to young people in college. I think C.V. Raman every year should give at least 3 to 5 lakhs to 10 groups in the institution as a seed grant. Call them and ask them to pitch and let everybody select their top ideas and give them the money so that go do something. So I think there'll be excitement. And then they should have a incubator like a T-Hub. See, why T-Hub is important, just not a building. When you come to the place, you must feel the energy, the intensity. Eyes must open up. You must see the beautiful labs. You must see the hardware, because seeing is believing. You meet visible signs of progress. Then you come there, it's beautifully designed, you feel in a different world. Then you say, I want to be there, I want to do that, etc. So you've got to create a T-Hub along with the place where you can do all the tooling and the manufacturing and do the Tokomar and all the kind of stuff where they do. So young people can work on machines, design, and work there for short things, so they can do that. And then a seed fund, where you create a seed fund of 500 crores and say, any startup from Odisha who gets seed capital, we give it 20% up to 2 crores without any due diligence, provided you're able to get the balance 40-50%. If somebody does a due diligence, you do it. Gets platform like Let's Venture to come up. And then start a fund again for giving Series A and B, where you give money up to 5 crores for maybe up to 10%. To anybody who gets a seed capital, so you get that money up to 5 crores. Others give money. That 5 crores can be 20%. So funding becomes easy, and people come and work out of here. So then you get business. You get the business park owners like this Embassy Group, like Brewfields, etc., to come and start like the ITPL in Bangalore. done long back. So once you do all this in 3 or 4 years, you create a critical mass, you create excitement, you create network, like she said, people talk, people share, etc. And you got to give them capital. And then you invite venture capitalists to come other places. So you need somebody to create that kind of excitement on a continuing basis. You got to hire younger people, energetic, to do that. I think that's the way to create excitement. Hyderabad did a fabulous job.
True. In fact, in Odisha, the startup Odisha is under MSME, Mohan. I remember you suggesting Basundhara Raje and also Manohar Parikarji that immediately take it out and put it under IT, because until and unless a startup is technology enabled, there's no scale and there's no employment generation. So what do you have to suggest if Naveen ji is listening to you? What do you have to suggest for Odisha?
Well, I'll suggest that you have a young IT minister, 35, 40, a very pleasant face like you maybe, and give him a grant, tell him to report directly to the CM, and do all the multiple things. And it will work. It will take 1 or 2 years to work. See, Odisha has got bright young people. Bhubaneswar is a nice, beautiful city. You got enough flight connectivity. You got a good network. You got many engineering colleges. All the basic things are there. What is required is more capital, more money coming in. And government is very surplus in Odisha. They got money. They get 45, 48,000 crores in money from the mining sector alone.
So you're suggesting that Odisha too follow other states of taking out
Yes.
startup Odisha from MSME and giving
they
it
can
to
have
IT
a startup ministry, a minister for startups, or a minister for artificial intelligence and startups. I mean, most people don't know what is artificial intelligence, but it's got an aura of mystery. So when you say minister for artificial intelligence startups, everybody gets excited. So I think we should do that.
You're meeting Naveen ji at 7:30 today, Mohan. So what will be your
Well, I'll suggest
3-4
all
things today which you're going to tell him?
Well, he's very fond of me, gives me a meeting whenever I ask, and I'll tell him all this.
Thank you. Okay, now let me come to Ashkant. You were a startup. You were a startup once upon a time. Now I just overheard that you have 200 people working for you, you have a technology company. 2,000 people working for you, you have a technology company. So what were you doing before starting this?
I was working in MNC and work in different places in the country, outside. Then always have an idea to do something of my own since that time startup was not there, the concept.
So what were the roadblocks which you faced when you thought about being an entrepreneur? Just for the aspiring entrepreneurs in the.
You see that I have seen evolution of startup ecosystem in the state. Let me tell you that I take 2 minutes how the thing started. 2010, Siluvai was here, I think. We went to USA with a delegation invest to Bhubaneswar. I was heading that. The first platform of entrepreneurship, we went to San Francisco. And there we first came across the word called startup. We used to start business like small business, right? We saw Infosys there, we start IT company. We do something different. We have the product, we get product and sell in the market. We never thought what is startup. There they came, we met the Thai president, vice president, and he told me something about startups. Then we were very curious. Then he took us to some incubation center, plug and play center in Palo Alto, one of the places. And there we came to know how startup works, how venture fund works, how investor comes, and there we spent good amount of time. There I came back in July and first met the CM, our honorable CM. The first tagline I put it that, can we make Odisha as a startup heaven? In 2010, July 17, I made the chief minister. Still I remember that. And that time people are laughing at me that what startup, what is heaven, what is he talking about? I said, we can do something like that in USA come across. So from there, we strongly work with the government of Odisha right now with the startup policy. They are with the OHub, like T-Hub, they are following. And trust me, I have been almost all the engineering colleges in the state for promoting entrepreneurship, one of my hobby. I have seen ideas are great. Like Mr. Pai said that we lack the funding ecosystem and mentoring ecosystem here. These people going from here in Hyderabad or Bangalore, Mumbai or Delhi doing great. That idea that why can't Odisha? Maybe Odisha is the right part, make bit more time to come to that stage. But right now, we have to create an investment ecosystem in the state.
Yeah, I'll come to that. So in 1992, some successful entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley thought that they should come together, form TIE, and then try and nurture and mentor entrepreneurs so that they become big, they become global, and now you are in 15 countries, 55 chapters, and growing. And you helmed this in Odisha. So, what are your plans to see? I'll tell you what are the asks for incubators like CGU incubators. They need mentors. I mean, what brings in startup to an incubator? The incubator should have good mentors. They should be handheld to create prototypes. They should be handheld to try those prototypes as a proof of concept, and of course some funding. So you are one of the key TIE should be and is one of the key enablers of startup ecosystem. So what are your plans for Odisha and engaging with incubators like CGU or any others, and to help in a day-to-day basis with a clear-cut, outcome-based, time-bound based activities where you can help them with mentors? Are you planning to have an alternate investment fund getting created within the HNIs in Odisha? So what are the activities you have planning around the startup?
Most of the things you talked about, we are trying for those. Let me tell you, already Odisha government has got a fund and going to manage by CDB, 100 crores they have put it. And I do the Let's Venture, they are the event called Fund that Stack, and lot of investment guys and people, they came here, they have come, a couple of years ago, government of Odisha doing that one. But at TIE is concerned, we are very focused on two things which is missing in the Odisha is that investment ecosystem. We are trying to connect HNI in the state to educate them that how the investment ecosystem works. People have got money, they're buying in clothes or spending clothes in the marriages, but they don't want to put 5,000 rupees to a startup because they don't have understand, they know how startup ecosystem works. So we want to start, we are working on that, connect HNI, we have been working on that. Not only Bhubaneswar, we are not limiting to Bhubaneswar. There are many pockets other than Bhubaneswar like UTKAL, Jharsuguda, and poor people, they are sitting with the money, they have the money. But we want to say that you just startup is another way of bringing development, impact in the society, and help those people on that. So we are trying to get people like Mr. Pai or other people to tell them the story, how they have made money, how they have walked through this journey, that kind of thing, Secondly, mentorship is also another challenge. Many people are doing great, but to next level, maybe technology startup or any startup they are doing, how to go to next level, they need a mentorship. We have few things, but also mentor. That also program we have, so that people who are mentoring here, they should know the limitation, what to mentor, what not to mentor. That we are working on that also. And also promoting and boosting the confidence of the startup over here. We are working much. Because when the investor comes, they should know what to speak, what not to speak. That's very important. When I talk to a lot of investors here, they're coming here, they say, okay, this guy is very good. But they don't know, he does not have the basic idea what to speak, what to ask for that. The idea is great. So how to package themselves, how to position themselves, piece themselves, those things also we are working out.
So you have plans of engaging with the incubators and building up capacities?
Yeah, constant in touch with those people.
Very, very, very nice. Okay, I'll come to you, Harkesh. You have been one of the pioneers in terms of recognizing the need for incubators and then keeping some money aside to fund those incubators many years back. Later on, it's been, of course, followed by Atal Innovation Mission, and many more ministries have gotten into this. So what is that? What was the incubator scenario then? And what is the incubator scenario today? And are you satisfied the way incubators are today placed, or you think that they could have been better in terms of their potential?
Thank you. Thank you, Gautam, for that Let me tell you that I have worked almost 30 years plus with the government, promoting the innovation ecosystem around the world. But let's look at the latest news. Let's look at, some of you might have missed it. Yesterday, Finance Minister has announced a budget of 1 lakh crore. 1 lakh crore for science and technology, R&D and innovation. This is the first time in the history of the country that such a large budget has been allocated to science and technology. Typically, it was less than 10,000 crores a year. So there's a jump of 10 times which has been announced yesterday. So the future is good, and the state governments also have been very active in supporting innovation. This is in addition to this 1 lakh crore. All the state governments have a startup policy. Today, you have 700 plus incubators in the country. The quality varies. You have the top ones and you have the bottom ones. The quality varies. The quality of their services also vary. But the demand also has to come from the startups, that we need this quality. I was involved in establishment of T-Hub. I remember the very young, dynamic IT minister there. I am forgetting his name. One Mr. KTR. I happened to meet him when he had just taken over. We met at an event in ISB Hyderabad, and he immediately said, can you help us in establish this? Can you give that initial amount from the central government? I said, of course, we will support you. But today, the state governments have allocated their own budgets for supporting startup activity. There's a lot of buzz. Almost each ministry in the central government is today working on startups. Earlier, it was only the Ministry of Science and Technology, basically my own department, Department of Science and Technology, was doing this. Then came Department of Biotechnology, and then many others gradually joined. Today, almost every ministry has a startup budget. Combined with this, there was a budget announcement which was made that the incubators were allowed to take CSR funds, where the private sector also came in. So when both these forces joined hands together, the impact was much larger. Now coming back to your question, whether I am satisfied, yes, I am partly satisfied. I am not totally satisfied, because if you are totally satisfied, that means there's nothing else required. There is plenty of things which are to be done even now. There are some things which have been done, and there are some things which are to be done. Like I'll tell you. Today, as chairman of the seed capital, while we can provide this initial capital, even in CGU, we have a small grant from the Startup India Seed Fund. It's about 4 crores. And this initial money up to 20 lakh of rupees can be given to few startups, which is as a grant. Not all of you will get 20 lakhs as free money, but some of you can get up to 20 lakh of rupees as a grant. Then there is an investment up to 50 lakh of rupees, which is at the initial level. This can be availed right away. This is available right now as I speak. It is available. And there are 200 plus incubators across the country which have this Startup India Seed Fund with the same arrangement. And there are many programs now which are, SIDBI has a program where they give you up to 50 lakh of rupees as, 1 crore of rupees as grant. There are programs of Department of Biotechnology for the biotech startup, where you can even get up to 1 CR as an investment. And there are plenty of schemes of the state government and central government which a startup can avail now. See, what is this capital? This is risk capital, where the government, the public sector shares that risk with you. if you fail, we are with you. And this is just to protect your interest and your enthusiasm in the startup arena. I think.
I think maybe we can dwell more on how this entire Startup India Seed Fund works. Now let me go to a startup. Bodhi, you have been a role model in Odisha. When did you start your startup?
Sir, I started my startup back in 2018.
Okay, and now your presence is national.
International.
You have international. You have more than 25 crores turnover in your bank.
Right.
You're growing, and you have been supported by defense. You have
Yes.
been supported by large infrastructure companies, and so on and so forth. So it's beautiful. Sounds so exciting. But what were the pain points? What were the roadblocks? What are the problems which you faced when you really got it started? If you can explain, and how did you overcome them? Mentally, practically.
Exactly. So I'm a student entrepreneur. I'm just like one of you, and there are a lot of budding entrepreneurs. So I should actually I incorporated my company in 2018, but actual journey started back in 2013 and 2014 when I was a first year engineering student. And so back then there was no ecosystem at all in Odisha. So whatever really small activities related to startup entrepreneurship, it was all led by Oskan sir. And we used to come to Bhubaneswar, and there was no such opportunity, particularly for innovation, patent. So I started my journey as an innovator, then turned to an entrepreneur. And 2013 when I started, so there was no opportunity. So I thought to go to any other destination where there is ample amount of resource and opportunity. In Odisha, so we have a very clear mindset that in any village you go, so if they want to find any opportunity, any livelihood, they usually go to Gujarat, to Surat to get some better opportunity. So I thought, let's try that one. So instead of a dadan, we call it dadan, a migrant labor, in Odia we call dadan. So instead of a dadan, so I became a startup dadan to learn something from the Gujarati ecosystem. Back in 2013, I boarded a train from Jharsuguda, went to Gujarat and learned the innovation entrepreneurship culture there, and then returned to Odisha and started my company. I developed a series of products, series of innovations. Every time people, they believe that the innovation cannot actually happen in the tier 3, maybe in a deep rural pockets. But I studied from a college called Burla Engineering College, Odisha's first engineering college. It's in a remote place called Burla in Odisha, where we used to build rockets. We used to develop rockets, and people thought we were gone mad and not actually into the mainstream and not following the orders. But we never listened to the people. We tried, we failed. And without any support from the university, without any support from friends, family, anyone from the outside the world, we tried and failed. And after failing 100+ times, we finally succeeded, and we finally launched our rocket. And it reached to an altitude of 16,000 feet AGL, and it became Asia's first multi-purpose student rocket. Ultimately, ISRO came and took over the project, and then I moved forward and started this drone company, whatever experience I gained from that rocket project. So if a student entrepreneur, a bunch of students, 40 engineering students in a deep rural pocket from Odisha can actually build an enterprise and take it from a local Burla stage to global. Currently we are operating out of Dubai. So then definitely any entrepreneur, any student entrepreneur.
And during your time, there was no CGU incubators.
There was no CGU incubators.
There was no Startup India Seed Fund.
Yes. And
there was no government thing, and yet you did. And now they have all of these.
So I think everybody has already told that you need adequate capital, adequate ecosystem and all, but as an entrepreneur, as a Odia entrepreneur particularly, I will tell, so that is not the main problem. The root cause is the stereotype in the society. It's it's not a financial problem, not an economical problem. It's a more societal problem. So we usually don't accept entrepreneurs in Odisha. We never encourage entrepreneurs in Odisha. First time when you say you want to be an entrepreneur, your father will think that you are going to fail. And then this is what the biggest stereotype in the society. We are, so already Mohandas Pai has already has told that we have supplied wonderful brains to the world. in all any MNC you will go, there are ODA manpowers. But how many are there ODA leaders in the MNCs, and how many ODA entrepreneurs in the market? So this is a social stereotype. We need to break the social stereotype fast. This cannot be done through policy. I think this can be done through the social sensitization. See, we among different universities, you need to actually take the step and sensitize the parents. First, the parents needs to get the awareness about the entrepreneurship. And then student, you need to try, and you need to also convince your parents, no, you are definitely doing something on your end. And there are adequate amount of support. Back then, there was no support, but now, the amount the kind of support like Startup Odisha, Startup India Seed Fund and other grants, that are adequate that to to start a company and to run a company. So breaking the stereotype in the society, particularly in the Odisha context, is much more important than any other kind of support.
Breaking the stereotype, Mohan. Now let's come to you with this statement. 18% participation of women in the startup ecosystem. Very low, Mohan. But another good thing is that 36 startups of 110 unicorns are founded or co-founded by women. See, 36.
Gautam, from 8% 10 years back to 18 is pretty good. 18 is low, but it's improving, it's pretty good. And you said that 100 have more than 100 crores revenue or something like that, right? That's pretty good. You see, women have been behind. In fact, we set up India's first woman venture fund called Saha. We gave money, we raised some 35 crores, gave money to 10 women entrepreneurs. About 6 failed, 4 are okay, 2 are doing very well. But that was given a long time ago. I think women will come up, they're more cautious. Look, you got to make capital easily available. In Karnataka, there is in the Elevate, there's a woman grant system where 50 women entrepreneurs get 25 lakhs. Give it to them. I mean, Odisha has got a lot of money. What is there? Correct? Have an open plan, competition, let them come and bid, give them 25 lakhs. First year we get 50 women, next year they'll become 100, then they become 150. After 150, 40, 50 will do very well. They become stars. Other women will come and ask them, they become mentors. In 3 years' time, you got an ecosystem. Just do it.
Yeah,
and in fact, Sanjeev should say in CV Raman, for the top 5 girl entrepreneurs, he'll give them 3 lakhs grants each. Just announce, Sandeep, when you speak, you announce that. So do it.
I'll make him do that.
Do that.
I'm holding
him. We have to break the ice. The only way to break the ice is to make sure that we draw them out of the shell. And to draw them out of the shell, we got to give them an award and give them capital. They'll go home with a check and tell their parents, oh, we got this check for my entrepreneurship. What will the parents do? Mat karo, fail. They'll say, iska paisa hai karo. ठीक है ना? You will succeed. And if you don't succeed, it's okay. Go for the next competition, get 3 lakhs more, 5 lakhs more.
The effectiveness of women entrepreneur is much higher. That's
Yes.
what I said. 36
people
unicorns.
People want heroes and heroines. We got to create these heroes. We got to draw them out. And we got to incentivize them. And they will do well. There's nothing wrong with a man or a woman. Everybody is the same. They're all bright. God has given them equal brains. Correct. Women are more cautious because of many reasons. Draw them out and solve this problem. See, Gautam, we have to break the ice and we got to do it sooner. You saw all the data. We are in the midst of the digital revolution. The whole world is on a platform. Everybody is connected. The best opportunity for every young person. You heard him. He succeeded in doing something, is persevere, right? But if first few years were tough, no, we are not in that phase. Now we got to pump in some money and give them the grant. It doesn't matter if they fail. It is okay. Let them do it. So many will succeed and showcase them as successors, and you'll do well. Just do it.
So now that you told Sanjeev to do something, now let me ask Sanjeev. Now, Sanjeev, Sanjeev, I'll not corner you that way. You have a very interesting journey. You started with ITI. You went on to build an engineering college, then an university. Apparently, university, as you with love call it a COVID university, because it got formed during COVID time. You got the license, you started within 15 days, everything shut down. So you went through and you got over it. And then one day you thought of partnering with 2 leading ecosystem enablers, that is Ministry of Science and Technology and Niti Aayog, and hosted 2 incubators. Now the challenge is the incubator is hosted in an institution, and that too mainly engineering. Why is there so less response of student entrepreneurs? Ideally, when there's an incubator with all these Startup India seed fund ready, you have 27 Center of Excellence, people from outside are coming and joining an incubator. We have good board, we have Mohandas Bhai's support, and we have everybody to support. Then why is the student not excited? And I don't see a queue in front of CGU incubator every day of students wanting to be entrepreneurs. What is your challenge? And what help do you want to seek from the industry, funds, the startup poster boys?
Mr. Gautam, I'd like to answer your question. Long back, I think it's maybe 12 years back, I went to Mysore to one engineering college. It's called JSS Engineering College. So that time, I was the country to see how the private engineering colleges and universities are, so that I get an idea to build better infrastructure and better institution. So what I found there, I found a lab which is sponsored by Philips, and there are 10-20 computers that time set to high-end computers, and the Philips has developed that lab in the institution and given 20,000 rupees to the MTech students, okay, and given them live projects to work on, okay. And when I went to the lab and talked to them, then I came to know there are many products which that company is already using and putting in the market had developed from that lab. So, that gives an insight that how industry participation in institutions, engineering institutions, can really help to nurture your idea and give you confidence to build products. So in any university or any institutions, if you start setting up such incubations, we should have a strong linkage of the industry, which will come forward and try to nurture the idea of the students by giving incentive. As Mohanji said, that to give incentive to our own students to do startup, we're already coming with our own startup policy, where we like to give even 2 lakhs rupees to students of, our students,
Clap.
where they will have their idea. Because, and we have already done a student, startup management committee. So how many are here from the management committee? Yeah. So they are managers. They are in different capacity, and they are into the different ideas of the students. And now from this session, we like to see their ideas are incubated, and we give them a seed fund to start with. And then, if they're really doing well, then there's so many agencies can give them a seed fund. But the main formula of success will be if the industry step in, and they like to give a peanut. Like the Philips used to give 20,000 rupees stipend to one MTech students or PhD scholar, and they give a live problem to do, and they solve it, and what a cost. Maybe 1 lakh rupees cost, but the product goes to the market with crores of rupees. You understand? But that is not important for us. The important is they help to nurture the idea of the student, they gave a confidence, and they gave a platform to work on their software, develop the product, and for which so many students, they could able to do their job and get confidence. Yes, we can do it, and we can really produce something.
Well taken. In fact, it's unfortunate that UTKAL Chamber of Commerce representation is not, couldn't make it today. So pressure is on Ayashkant. So it is a sort of a industry coming together in TIE. So can we expect some sort of a collaboration and cooperation from you at a much more larger level with the incubators in really building an ecosystem within the incubator?
You're talking about industry academia?
Industry academia.
Oh, I think we have been working since last couple of years on that, and we are working with a couple of TBI also, and also OHOV also. And it's a very good thing because that what also is lacking here, that industry participations, and because academia cannot do alone, it's a joint effort need to be done. And but I'll take it more seriously once we're discussing over here. My first priority was to create that two ecosystems here, industry, academia, that is UTKAL also. We can work out on this and we'll do it.
Brilliant. That is all I could ask the panelists here. Now I open up for all of you. Anybody questioning wants to question any one of us, please raise your hand, tell your name, and tell us who is this question for. The mic will reach you. Okay?
Gautam, let me challenge all of these young people here. Form groups of 3 or 4 people, your friends or whomever you want, all right? Okay, how many will do it? Put your hands up. Come on, everybody put your hands up. Form groups of 3 or 4 people. Is it too much to ask? Put your hands up, everybody. Everybody. Excellent. Come up with an idea. Spend 1 week coming up with an idea. Then spend 3 weeks coming out with a product idea. What is the product idea? There is an idea. What is the technology you're going to have to solve the idea? And what is the benefit to people? And how are you going to market? How are you going to sell? How much money you need to create an industry out of that idea? Do a small business plan. Now, 4 weeks after this, you come back here, ask them to present to all of you that business plan. How many teams will be there? 4 weeks from now. Give a number. How many teams? 20 teams. Anybody else? Anything more? Who said 20? Excellent. All of you work together to get 20 teams. Okay. And then for the top 5 teams, you ask Sanjeev to give them a grant of 4 lakhs, 2 lakhs immediately after you identify the top 5, and they go use that money. They must say for what they're going to use the money. After 15 days, 20 days, they come back and present what is the progress. He'll give them balance 2 lakhs. See, it's done. Ho gaya? So why don't you do it? So now we are in February. By March 15th, the prizes should have come, and then the winners will go to the incubator. They'll get free space, right, Sanjeev? Free space for 2 months. 2 months, free space, 4 to 3 people each. You can, after your class hours, you can come and work. You can go to the lab there and manufacture, use 3D printing, all the kind of stuff for all the products that you do, whether it's software or hardware or something. And then the Gautam will come and mentor you along with Thai chairman and our entrepreneur, how to build a business. Right, Gautam?
Yeah, absolutely, Mohan. So after they get the grant, they would be big enough looking for fund. Now,
and after that, what you do is, he will collect some seed, he'll collect some, angels to come. Let them pitch before the angels to raise more money. But complete your degree, okay? Don't say I'm a dropout and all that. You can only be a dropout after you succeeded in life.
So let's through you get them some clarity, Mohan. You are one of the largest investors through Aarin Capital, through 314, through Family Office. So how big is your portfolio today, Mohan, if I may ask?
We manage about $1 billion.
Right.
We got about 14 funds. We got about 650 companies.
Okay.
We got about 20 unicorns in all those companies. And we get 700 startups coming to a month. Pranav and Siddharth in 314 has seen 32,000 startups for the last 5 years. So they got an IRR about 38% CAGR for the last 7 years.
What a trajectory. What a trajectory.
Yeah.
So what are the 3 or 4 key things you look at a startup before you decide to invest on them? What are the 3?
Well, in a group of people came to me, I remember, they pitched to me for Licious. It was Licious. Now is worth 1.6 billion. Licious came and pitched to me in a PPT. I asked them a lot of questions. They wanted to deliver fresh meat home. Then I threw them out and said, you guys are not thought it, go away. I thought they'll never come back. They came back of the next week. After 10 days, they came back, presented to me. Then I gave them a 50 lakhs check. I mean, these are, 8 years back. 50 lakhs is a lot of money. They raised another 2 crores. I mean, another 1.5 crores. They had 2 crores, diluted that and raised money. And then we put that into a family fund. We have funded them. Now they're worth about $1.6 billion. So, what do you look for in an entrepreneur? What you look for in an entrepreneur is the power of the idea, the confidence in the execution, the body language, and do you really trust them to do what they have to do? Okay, that's the first. Because when you come for a PPT, what else do you have? The confidence, the presentation, and how do you feel about them? It is just a call. Then you give them money, and then you meet them once a month, mentor them. They have the hunger, they have the ambition, they come up, and then you introduce them to other people, and they succeed, and they go up. And one of the most important attribute you must have as you go up is your ability to convince people to put in more money. Because it requires a lot of money. You need 3 or 4 rounds. That's why, like I said, you must learn how to pitch. Vaidyu pitches fabulously. He raised about $2.5 billion during COVID without even giving any financial statements. Just by the power of what he said. He raised money from the best investors in the world. So I think it's very important you learn how to pitch, how to sell, because there are only 2 emotions human beings have: fear and greed. Fear, you're missing out. Greed, that you're going to make a lot of money. So when you go before investors, you must show them why you are the best thing in the world, how you're going to make a lot of money, not absurd numbers, quietly, subtly, and the fear that if they don't invest you, they're going to miss out on a disruption and a trend. I'm sure he's done all this when he went to pitch and all that. So you've got to do this. I think these are the things that you have. Because seed level, what else you got? 2, 3 people coming, pitching up. They've got to be confident. You understand? So, I mean, the system is there in Bangalore. You've got to develop it here.
All right. Thank you, Mohan. Thank you, panelists. I think we are done. We are running short of time, so we're going to wind up. Nobody has any question, as always. Thank you so much. Thank you. Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed panelists, as we draw the curtains on this insightful and engaging panel discussion, I extend my heartfelt thanks to each one of you who has contributed to the success of the event. Our sincere appreciation goes to our distinguished panelists, PadmaShri TV Mohandas Pai, Shri Harkesh Mittal, Shri Sanjeev Kumar Raut, Shri A.K. Mahanti and Mr. Bodhisattva Sanghapriya. Your valuable insights, experiences and visionary outlook have added immense value to our discussion. A special thanks, yes sir. May I now request our esteemed founder president Shri Sanjeev Kumar Raut to extend a token of gratitude to our panelists and moderator. Please give a very big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As we move forward, I am pleased to announce that we have an exciting lineup for the remainder of the event. We will now proceed for a networking session for further engaging in discussions with our distinguished guests and panelists, followed by the startup showcase where the innovative projects and ideas will be on the display. Before that, may I now request the guests to please come up to the dais for a photo session capturing the moment for making an everlasting memory. I request our esteemed guests to please come up to the dais for a photo session. Sir, on your money, on the I request the CEOs and the head of the startups to please proceed towards the dais for a group photo session. I also request the guests to please proceed to the dais. Madam Hassan. I request the organizing team to also please come up to the dais for the group photo. Once again, thank you all for being an integral part of this event. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.